Proverbs. And we'll be reading Proverbs 15, 13 through 15. If you want to find it in the Pew Bible, you'll find it on page 697. That's Proverbs 15, 13 through 15. Solomon passing on some more wisdom to us. A happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. The discerning heart seeks knowledge, but the mouth of a fool feeds on folly. All the days of the oppressed are wretched, but the cheerful heart has a continual feast. May the Lord bless our understanding this saying in this scripture today. You know, in Florida, there was a saying that was on the wall of a restaurant, and we had quite a conversation over that. It was the first day we got there, early morning, not much sleep, but saw this saying and started a conversation with the waitress and some people sitting around us too. The saying was, every day may not be good, but there's something good in every day. You know, and I was so tired, and we only got about 3 hours sleep, if that. And you know, you're kind of cranky because you're cooped up in an airplane for so many hours and everything else. But I looked at that and I said, you know what? We're here in Florida. We made it safely. And there is something good in every day. And yes, the eggs were great that morning. You know, we all face each day pretty much the same, don't we? We get up, brush our teeth, we have our coffee, we have our juice or our tea. You know, and we put on our clothes, we put on our best face, and we're ready to face the world. But then we put on the morning news, either on the television or on the radio or on the way to work. And we wonder, how can we find joy in this world today, in a broken world? How can we find joy when there seems to be hardship and brokenness everywhere we look? Even in our own families we see it. And we wonder, how can we face a world that seems so broken? And how can we find happiness in that world? How do we put on a face, a happy face, when there's so much sadness? You know, I Googled it. I looked to see if there was such a thing as a happy specialist. There's a specialist for everything. And I thought I'd find a happy specialist. I couldn't find a happy specialist on the internet. Somebody that would say, well, you pay so much money, I can make you happy. But you know, when I want to be happy, I told Mary Lou, if I'm ever in a bed with a long sickness or anything like that, you know, put on some old Red Skelton reruns. Or put on, you know, to me it would be The Honeymooners. Or maybe Carol Burnett. Or Peter Sellers of the Pink Panther. You know, then I can be happy. I don't need a happy therapist to do that and a psychiatrist to do that. It reminded me of the joke of the man who went to the psychiatrist. He says, Doc, I keep thinking of a dog. And the doctor said, well, why don't you just lie down on the couch over there and let me examine you? And he says, well, they don't allow me on the furniture. But sometimes, you know, happiness just is for a very short period of time, a brief period of time in our life. It only lasts a while because we go up and down all day long. Not like it's all week long. I mean, sometimes it's all day we have our ups and our downs. So we go to the Bible and say, well, how can we be happy in a dysfunctional world, in a secular world? How can we be happy? Well, as you search the scriptures, you come up with the first one, I think, it's be thankful. Be thankful. You know, that's one way to be happy. And the Bible addresses this. Paul addresses this. He says, in everything. Well, that's hard, isn't it? In everything, he says, be thankful. Give thanks, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the clothes that fit so snug. That means I had enough to eat. Thankful for mowing the lawn. I have a house. I'm even thankful for paying taxes. That means I have an income. We have to be thankful because we think about it, we need to count our blessings for what God has given to us. And we need to understand that we serve a gracious, benevolent God. And we need to look for the good, not the bad. You know, for instance, my son hit a deer last Tuesday morning when we were down there. And the way my son travels on that road, I know he had to be doing 70, 75 miles an hour. And the truck was wrecked, as you can imagine, from the deer. But he'd come home and he was just thankful that he wasn't hurt. Thankful that, that deer didn't go through the windshield. Just be thankful for what happened, that he survived that. In Tropical Storm Irene, and believe it or not, that was 8 years ago. And here it is, September 15 today, or 22, whatever it is. So we're looking about a month later. Look at what happened in the church back then. And yet you go downstairs, and I'd ask our guests, go downstairs and look at our fellowship hall, and the way it looks today, we're thankful. We're thankful for what we have because of what we've been through so many years back. In the Bible, it talks about Joseph being sold by his brothers into slavery. And then being falsely accused by Potiphar's wife and thrown into prison, a dank, dark prison. And yet he came out of it as the second most powerful man in Egypt to be able to help his family. And he would say, what man meant for harm, God turned to good. Because God has our best interests at heart. And he demonstrates his love to us each and every day. We need to recognize that through our gratefulness. Every day, every situation, find something to be thankful for, even in the difficult times that we go through. Because there's things that he has done for us, for our spiritual betterment. Things that he has done for us, and we need to seek him out. And how did you know? I am thankful for Nick.
It will be dry till he's done. That's good.
Thank you, Nick.
That's good.
I was running out of gas, you know. Our second thought, as we go through it, is stop grumbling. This is my favorite, by the way. And some people just have to complain all the time, don't they? It reminded me of a lady, they went to the dentist office and asked about pulling a tooth. He said, it's going to cost you $200. She said, $200? That's a lot of money for only a minute's work. And he said, well, if you wish, I could pull it out slowly. You know, how can we find happiness if we're always finding fault? How are we going to do that? You know, be happy for what we have and realize that there are some people that have more than us. But also realize that God gives us what we need. Sometimes it's not always what we want, but God gives us what we need. We think of Paul and all Paul went through. And Paul said, I know what it is to be in need. I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether we're fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And the psalmist would say, be glad in the Lord, you righteous one. Be glad in the Lord and give thanks to his holy name. To be glad. And our third point is to be positive. If we dwell on the positive rather than negative, I really believe that we will be happier. And if we dwell on the negative rather than the positive, I don't know how we could ever achieve happiness. You know, Paul and Silas went through the most terrible circumstances. At one time they were arrested. They were arrested and the jailer threw them in jail. He took off them and stripped their clothes, and he beat them with rods, put them in stocks. And they sat there all night long in this dank jail cell. And what did they do? Did they complain? No. They started praying and they started singing hymns so that the other prisoners that were in that jail cell knew that they knew the Lord. They knew that God had not abandoned them. They had faith and knew that God was in control of their lives. And regardless of the circumstances that go on in our lives, we always have to have a song in our heart. And my point here is, don't lose your song. You know, my mom had the distinction of raising 5 children. It wasn't the easiest time, as you can imagine, especially if you're like me. You know, I remember the old wringer washing machine going all the time. In those days, you had to iron clothes, remember? And fold the clothes and put them away. And the meals all had to be prepared for us. And she worked 40 hours a day on top of all that. But she always had a song on her heart. My mom was a guitar player. She was a great singer, had the nicest voice. And I remember singing old gospel songs like What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And if she wasn't singing, she was humming. And I think that's what kept Mom going. Always had a song on her heart. She couldn't read music at all, but the nicest voice. She actually sang professionally. And she joined the church choir, and someone criticized her because she couldn't read music. I can remember her coming home crying. And she put the guitar away and hung it on the wall right in the room. I remember that. And she wouldn't sing. It took a long time for her to get that back because she lost her song. But when she did find it again, when that guitar came off the wall, she started singing again. What a different attitude she had to sing songs. Songs to the Lord, songs to her children, or songs to herself. Happiest when she's singing. And we need to keep singing, especially to the Lord. Paul tells us in Ephesians 5:19-20, he says, be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit. Sing and make music from your heart to the Lord, always giving thanks to God the Father for everything, in the name of our Lord, Jesus Christ. In Psalm 95, the psalmist writes, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before him with thanksgiving and extol him with music and with song. And the next point is to serve others. You know, the song was have faith, hope, and charity. That was the way to live successfully. You remember that song? How do I know? The Bible tells me so. You want a lift? Give somebody a lift. And if you want to, help somebody, you're going to find out you're helping yourself as well. Whether it be stacking firewood or taking them to the store, to the hospital, or visiting them, seeing a shut-in. These acts of kindness will not only give that person a boost, but will give us a boost as well as we help them. And studies have proved this over and over again, that if you want to feel good, make somebody feel good. And if you want to be happy, make somebody else happy in your life. Paul said, in everything I did, I showed you that by this kind of hard work, we must help the weak. Remembering the words the Lord Jesus himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Have you ever met a selfish person? They're miserable. No better way of saying it. They worry more about what they can get from others than what they can receive or what they can give. They're not happy people at all. And we need to give to others. We need to help others. And that way we will help ourselves. Take our mind off of some of the things that are going on in our life. Paul said, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. That's the way to live happily. Not looking to your own interest, but the interest of the others. We raise our value when we raise the value of other people in our lives. The richest lives are of the people who give good works for others. And my last point today is choose happiness. Happiness is a choice. We're not going to be happy all the time. We know that. There's no way that I can say I'm walking out of here and I'm going to have a smile on my lips all week long. Because we know things happen to us. But I choose happiness. I choose it over grumpiness. I choose it over complaining. I choose happiness in my life. And we need to commit to a better way of life. There's always going to be circumstances beyond our control, because that is life. When we're faced with those unfortunate events, we need to take care of them. Yes, we do. But our happiness should not revolve around life's circumstances. Our happiness revolves around our joy in Christ. We need to adopt the attitude expressed in Psalm 118:24. This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. The Apostle Paul says in 1 Thessalonians 5:16, rejoice also. And he repeats it in Philippians 4. He says, rejoice in the Lord always. And he says again, I say, rejoice. Be committed to do what is right. Have faith that God is in control of our lives. And have a daily commitment to live the life that Jesus Christ wanted us to live. Not to cut corners, as I was trying to tell. Boy, has he got that right. Not to cut corners, but to live the life that we have been given. So that'll lead to a better, happier, and more fulfilling life. We need to fill our hearts with faith, hope, and love. Peter said, for let him, that's us, who means to love life and see good days, refrain his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking guile. And let him turn away from evil and do good. Let him seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears attend to their prayer. If people see happiness in our lives, no matter what our circumstances are, they will notice that happiness. They will notice that joy. They might even become jealous of that joy. You know, the jailer that beat Paul and Silas and put them into stocks in that prison heard them singing and wanted a piece of that happiness, a piece of that joy. And he asked them, what do I do to be saved? It was believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. He asked because he knew they had something he didn't have. They had joy. They had joy. And a man was saved because of that. And the other people that were in jail as well. There's an opportunity when we're happy. People see the happiness in us to be able to share Jesus with them. To bring happiness into their lives. What better way to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ? You know, our last song today, As Well With My Soul, was written by Horatio Gates Spafford. He was born right over here in Troy, New York, not too far away, and became a very prominent lawyer in Chicago. He had a lot of real estate holdings, and he lost almost all of that in the Chicago fire. And then, to top it all off, his children went on a cruise with a ship to England. And on the way out, the ship sank, and he lost 4 daughters, all drowned. And when he found out about it, the telegraph came in, he immediately booked a trip on a ship to go to the spot where his children had drowned. And he penned the song, It Is Well With My Soul. And as we sing it, I want you to look at the words of this and think about a man who lost everything, a man who then lost children, 4 children, and how he could say that through it all, it is still well with my soul. It is well with my soul because, you know what? I am saved. It is well with my soul because I've given my life to Jesus Christ. So let's all stand and finish our service by singing 330,